The views and opinions expressed on the Quite Contrary podcast are not those of our sponsors, the Geeks Under the Influence Network, and to be honest, not even really the panelists of this podcast. So don't believe anything we say.
Final countermeasures are deployed. All will have all this time. All will have all this time. All this time.
And here we are again with another episode of Quite Contrary from the Geeks Under the Influence Network. I am Mike the Hobbit Bickett. Thank you for joining us for the show for Devil's Advocates and Bullshitters. And this is our third official episode of Quite Contrary. And with me today to help me discuss ghosts is Miss Katie Turbo. Welcome.
Hi.
You're super excited about this.
I can tell, they're going to be able to tell how you feel about this issue by the way you just said ghosts.
That's not necessarily true.
Bullshit.
No, I mean, there is a possibility that I went ghost because I'm just really jazzed about this subject matter.
Bullshit.
And that I believe that the movie Ghost was based on a real story.
You're not in a fucking Scooby-Doo episode. That is not how you say ghosts.
I have a feeling that Ghost was actually a...
Shut your face right now.
No?
Do not even complete that sentence.
I think that's actually what happened to Patrick Swayze after he died of butt cancer. I think it was butt cancer.
Too soon.
Too soon? He died like 4 years ago.
Too soon.
Too soon?
And I'm pretty sure it was even longer than that, but too soon.
Yeah, fair enough. Tonight we are talking about ghosts, the existence of or the non-existence of ghosts. And like every Quite Contrary, before we get started, we're going to talk about our personal feelings on the subject matter before we rock, paper, scissors to see what opinion we're going to have. For those unfamiliar with Quite Contrary, doesn't matter what opinion we have going in. We rock, paper, scissors to figure out what side of the debate we're going to be on. So, Ms. Turbo, what are your feelings on the existence of the supernatural, of spooks, specters, and ghouls?
I fucking hate you so much right now. Just your fucking facial expression on that one. Ugh.
Yeah.
I fucking believe in them. They're fucking real.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're fucking real.
Yeah?
Yes.
So you're really hoping that you end up winning so that you can go for the pro ghost?
I'm hoping, but I'm not hopeful that I'm going to win.
I'm also kind of on the fence on whether or not I could go pro ghost, because I am not a believer in the supernatural. I don't believe that ghosts exist, and that's going to be a really difficult hill to climb for me.
But you're such a good bullshitter that I think you could do it.
I am known to bullshit from time to time.
Just a little bit.
We'll see. The way this works, we're going to rock, paper, scissors, best out of 3. The winner gets to decide whether they're for or against the subject at hand. We're going to fast forward a little bit for you guys so you don't have to listen to us for 10 minutes figuring out the best 2 out of 3 on rock, paper, scissors.
Although it'd probably be pretty fucking entertaining.
For an audio podcast to hear rock, paper, scissors?
To hear my exasperated voice if I lose, yes, I think it would.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it would.
By the way, we are imbibing mainly because this is going to be incredibly stressful for both of us, possibly, depending on who wins what. I want to give a shout out to the Geeks Under the Influence Network. We just released an episode of Hackers, the audio commentary, with snippets from the live show that we did at Fallout.
I'm so sad/happy that you could not see the interpretive dance that I did for that.
That was really good. It was to the the plague monologue.
I don't know if good is the word that I would use for it.
I think when Miss Yankee Blue Jeans Jody is doing the plague dialogue as Alyssa Jones from Chasing Amy and you're doing interpretive dance to it, that's pretty good.
I think I just was I don't think I had the full-on like raver costume that I needed to in order to be able to fully get into the character that I needed to present for that.
I understand that. I can next time. Next time we do a Hackers Live event, we'll do it.
Yes.
We'll do it monthly.
God, no.
Every month, same exact jokes too, like nothing different each month, and just see how quickly just no one would show up the second time.
I did enjoy judging other people, though.
You are pretty good at judging other people.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And you did a good job.
I think I think Stephen was very surprised. Lowdown Brown was very, very surprised by my comments that I did on my board.
They were pretty good. If you are interested in checking out another Geeks Under the Influence live event, before we get started with this, we have trivia at Fallout every first and third Monday, and trivia at Wonderland. Both of those are in Choco Bottom in Richmond, Virginia. Wonderland is every second and fourth Tuesday. So you can check out that stuff at gypodcast.com. We just also secured another live movie night for Geeks Under the Influence for a podcast that should be coming out soon on the network called Beautiful Disasters. We're going to be having a schlock and camp movie night at Strange Ways Brewing Company on Dabney Road in Richmond, Virginia. Links to that are also at GUIPodcast.com. It's February 23rd from 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. And this month it's rock musical. All the information on that is at GUIPodcast.com, or there's links to the event on Facebook. Just look up Geeks Under the Influence.
I'm very excited for that one because it has a Jackson in it.
There is a Jackson in this movie. So are you ready to discuss
I guess.
ghosts? Spooks and specters.
That didn't make it better. That
No.
just fucking made it worse.
All right, so we're going to do one,
again,
two,
seeing
three,
your face.
throw. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, throw. Rock. So I get the first one. 1, 2, 3, throw. Paper.
Son of a bitch!
I win! That's maybe the quickest rock, paper, scissors we've had on this so far. Of course, this is like the third episode, so not a high bar.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Um,
going to throw a rock somewhere later.
I think just for the sake of us being able to better debate this, I'm going to go ahead and go counter on this one.
Are you?
I'm going to do, with my personal beliefs on it, the lack of existence of ghosts. I do not believe they're real. So you get to go pro ghost,
Okay.
which I know is going to be a little easier for both of us, I think,
I think so.
moving forward.
And
So,
possibly a little bit more entertaining.
yes. Instead of just like, I don't know.
They're bad?
They're
I
bad
don't
ideas.
get it.
Ghosts kill people in movies, so Peter Venkman doesn't like them. I don't know why I'm talking in this pitch. So, as the winner, I get to ask the first question.
All right.
So, as someone that believes in ghosts,
Mm-hmm.
ghosts have had a long history in mythology and in just storytelling throughout all sorts of different cultures throughout the world.
That is correct.
Since basically storytelling started.
That is correct.
Now, through all that time, even as science really started to get a foothold
Mm-hmm.
in our societies, there hasn't been any fully endorsed scientific proof that ghosts exist. So even though there is a longstanding cultural belief in ghosts, much like the Yeti or Nessie
Mhm.
or any number of mythological beasts, there is no science to back it up. Without that science, you being a critically thinking person,
Mm-hmm.
how can you still support the existence of ghosts?
Do you believe in aliens?
I believe in the likely event of aliens. Now, whether or not they have visited this planet is something that is up to hearsay.
Okay. So, hearsay, you're saying that aliens could possibly exist, but flat out, you are saying that ghosts do not exist whatsoever, that there is no possibility of ghosts, but you're saying that aliens could possibly exist.
That is what I'm saying, yes.
Okay. How is that not fucking bullshit on your part?
Well, because I actually have proof of alien existence.
How?
Us. The fact that we as a race and the other creatures on this planet exist is proof that life itself can take hold on a planet.
Mm-hmm.
We have proof of that through our planet. Not only that, but there has been proof of meteorites that have landed from Mars that show that life had taken hold at a bacterial level, but had taken hold on Mars long ago. There's proof of aqueducts on Mars as well. So there is...
Is there proof of life on Mars?
There is proof of life on Mars, not currently, but that it existed at some point on Mars.
Is there a alien/human form of something on Mars that you can attest to?
A thinking species, is that what you're saying?
There we go.
Okay, not on Mars specifically.
Okay, so where is that thinking species that you're talking about?
The thinking species, if you look at the number of suns, the number of planets, and then you quantify that mathematically using science.
No, man.
The possibility.
Oh, that possibility
The
word?
possibility of alien life on another planet is not only possible, but more than likely. You comparing alien life to the existence of ghosts, there is no there is no basis for the existence of ghosts in science. There is
Okay.
no parallel to draw from.
Well, I will say, first and foremost, before I counter what he has said, is that I do believe in aliens. I do believe that there are other species out there in the vast universe. I think my favorite line is sadly from Matthew McConaughey from the movie Contact, where a child asks him about the presence of other species, and he says, if not, it's an entire waste of space. And that is one of my favorite lines.
I like his line from that of Aliens, man. I get older, they stay the same age. I think
There should be a mashup of those movies.
there should be a mashup.
Let's make this happen. We have
Uh,
copyrighted this, so no one else can do this. Confused and dazed contacts.
or a Contact Days. There we go. Contact Days.
Um, but yes, I do believe in aliens. I do believe in ghosts. I think that the facts that we have are, or of people seeing aliens, can be related to the people that have seen ghosts. I have told Hobbit before a story that of multiple people explaining and seeing a ghost in a house that I lived. It was a house 2 doors down from me from where I grew up, and they would describe the same woman that was sitting there. I grew up in 18 a house that was built in 1890s. It was an old Victorian house, and 2 doors down from us, they would have lavish parties for the opera singers that would come and stay with them. And multiple times they would have people that would come there and comment on a woman dressed in Victorian clothing that would be sitting on the stairs just smiling and looking at people. And different guests at different times described her in the same type of clothing. So it's those types of experiences to me that prove more that there is some sort of life after death. I'm agnostic. I don't believe that there's a heaven or hell. I believe that the possibility or hope that there's something out there after we die, but it's not that, they have unfinished business, or, that they're coming to visit or whatever. It's more of just,
They're not trying to find Michael J. Fox to try to fix their shit that they haven't finished, and he has like a rowdy posse of ghosts that help him out.
I love that movie.
No, I love that. I own that movie.
Besides that,
Yeah.
I definitely think that there are instances of ghosts more than aliens out there that people can possibly prove over the existence of aliens. And I don't know, to me it seems more real for ghosts to be somewhere. And I have had personal experiences with ghosts, I feel, to make me believe it even more.
My counter to that is I've been witness to, let's say I'm out at the bar with friends and a fist fight happens or something happens, somebody breaks a glass, some kind of event happens. And then I've had it recalled by two different people that were right there at the moment, and there were two different versions of the same thing that happened. Our recall on something, what we actually choose to see as human beings is so flawed, so fundamentally flawed, that it's to the point where even sketch artists and picking criminals out of a lineup is not necessarily always admissible in court because our recall is so terrible.
But I'm not saying that. And for one, you're talking about two people recollecting a situation differently. I'm saying that these two people, or these multiple people that have seen this ghost in this house, have recollected the situation the exact same when they were not there. Those are people that have no contact with one another, yet they are saying that they have seen the same thing different nights at different times. They're seeing the same thing.
But then we got to dig into the possibilities of why they're saying the same thing. Was there a long-standing story that got passed down between people that lived in that home about a spook or specter that lived there? And if that is in someone's head, something like a reflection or a light from outside or, a curtain moving or something along those lines, with that in your head and believing in the supernatural, there is a great opportunity to misinterpret what's happening to being a sweet old lady that wants to cook you cookies, but she can't because she's dead.
This isn't a fucking cutout of a sheet with two eyes cut out, like floating by. They're talking about like the same out. Like this isn't the scene from
From Beetlejuice.
We're
We're ghosts.
No, this is two people that are recollecting the same situation. Like, I don't see how somebody would have the fucking time or patience to sit with somebody else, or even like when they're recollecting a story and it's gone through different times, of talking about exactly what she was wearing and exactly where she was and exactly like her facial expression. I don't see that as going through these people.
I'm just now like stuck on this idea that like, what if ghosts were just like sheets with little holes cut in them, and that was like,
I really fucking wish it was.
The only opportunity was like somebody with their like little kid cowboy like bed sheets that is running around just like, giddy up, little doggy.
I just imagine myself in your Avengers.
Nobody needs to know that I not only own but oftentimes use Avengers bed sheets.
He does until we got a new bed. But yes, those like the holes cut out. But if I had done that, I would definitely cut out like Captain America's eyes, so it just looked like big eyes and a Captain America face.
Be like a Captain America like sheet poncho that you'd wear.
Fuck, I would totally rock that. Shit, we need to get on that too. Those are two things we have copyrighted tonight.
Yes, we are copyrighting the shit out of stuff. I think the whole existence of ghosts and the supernatural in general, as I discussed at the intro of this, is a long tradition of telling stories of witnessing ghosts or ghostly occurrences. Because mankind in general, before there was television, before there was the written word, we loved a good story. And life is full of hardship and a lot of stuff that we've got to deal with that we really don't. So to have something spectacular occur is something that everybody kind of has this underlying hope for. Something like touching something outside of this mortal coil. So, being able to reach out and have contact with the other side is something that is not only fantastic, but it's exciting. So oftentimes people will jump to a conclusion to justify their belief in something bigger than themselves. Like,
so it's this mat that you have conclusions on, and you jump to them.
And one of them is just a ghost. Like, I done seen a ghost is one of the things on the mat. That was in a cutscene from Office Space.
But it's more than that, though. It's like, it's not even a recollection, because everybody has that personal experience. There are multiple stories that I can tell you of situations that I've been in personally, or situations that I've heard from people. And yes, those are stories, but those are stories from like people I personally know. So I know it's not just I heard this from, this person's girlfriend, who heard it from her best friend's brother, who heard it from his parole officer. Like
they tell two friends,
and they tell two friends,
and so on, and so on. You know how this goes.
It's those things that have been in my life personally that make me feel like there are other factors going on. Have you ever been in a room where you have like heard a noise or something has happened that you don't feel like it should have been there, or it's not by accident?
Definitely.
So what do you think it is?
Well, I don't jump to the conclusion of it being a ghost. I look at the possibilities, and there's normally a plethora. And then I look for the most common sense, answer to that question. If I heard like a rustling or something, it might be something as simple as a squirrel got in the attic. Or, if I felt a breeze when there shouldn't be a breeze, it might be that there's a draft coming from somewhere. That there's usually a more realistic, logical explanation for things that so easily, like watch these ghost shows where they're like, I just felt a cold go on my leg, and so that's a ghost. And I'm thinking maybe it's just a breeze.
And
Like,
then now I'm thinking that maybe we have two different definitions of what we think ghosts are, because I definitely don't agree with those fucking shows. I'm like, and for me, I'm talking about personal experiences. I'm talking about things that have, again, like I said, like I've heard from somebody that I personally know, or something that's happened to me personally, to make me feel like even if I've personally not seen that ghost, that there are things that have happened in my life to let me know that that person is there.
but how much of that is through true, genuine examples, or how much of it is wishful thinking, where there are situations that you want the spirit of that person to be nearby, um, or that something reminds you very deeply about a person, and it feels almost like a sign from them, but it's just a happenstance.
I would fully agree with you that there are people in my life that have gone too soon, that there have been situations where, yes, it could have been a happenstance, but it's too real. It's not that I hear like a, oh, Katie, I love you, or something like that.
I hope not. That's creepy. And it's not even like a friend. It's like the guy Steve that you were in fourth grade with that was like weirdly obsessed with you. And he got hit by a car.
Oh, poor Steve.
Like he didn't like overdose or anything. Like he just got hit by a car. It was really sad.
That's
and he
a
was
bummer.
But he just like,
Steve was not a bad guy.
yeah, but he just wanted to kind of check up on his ginger friend from fourth grade that he had like a weird crush on.
Why does it have to come down to a ginger thing, man?
Well, because I have to describe you very basically to the people that haven't seen you before on this podcast.
Oh,
So
that's true.
yeah, so I'm just going with ginger or
This is why you should listen to the podcast more.
yeah, to get a
There
better.
are gingers in there.
There be gingers about. Yeah, Steve. Like that's another thing is that with these ghosts, are they stuck wherever they die, or like wherever like a bad thing happened to them, or can they just like wander around like in Ghost with Patrick Swayze, where he like goes and catches the subway and meets the weird bald dude that's like freaky and can break windows? Because if that's the case, they can totally like be creeper ghosts. There could be like weird pedophile ghosts that go and hang out at jungle gyms and shit.
I think it's wherever they want to be, but I also think that
Like a pedophile at the jungle gym.
no, I think maybe.
The ghost of Michael Jackson is hanging out.
I truthfully think from the ways that I have experienced what I would consider ghost encounters, or from what I've heard from
Of
ghost
the third kind?
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Continue.
jackass. That I do think that maybe they stay in a place that they absolutely loved. Maybe they stay in a place that they feel safe in and secure in.
Damn, then like Chuck E. Cheese is crowded with ghost babies, like ghost kids running around the Chuck E. Cheese, like in the ball pit. That ball pit is like lousy with fucking ghost children.
Well,
They
that's why I don't go to Chuck E. Cheese.
all
I
those,
fucking hate that place.
all those shitty fucking ghost kids that are.
I had a spirit night there once, and it was fucking awful.
Also, like, imagine just how haunted with like drunk rednecks is like NASCAR stadiums. It's just like all these dudes that died from cirrhosis of the liver, just like wandering around, being like, "Man,
Damn it.
man, I'll miss the days that I could drink Bud Light. There's no ghost Bud Light. There's no ghost Coors. I just have to watch my friends drinking the Coors Light."
And you laugh and you make fun of that, but I don't think that would be their special place.
I don't know. Have you met like hardcore NASCAR fans?
I really do think that there are, it may not be a ghost, it may not be something that you see, but I think that there's something out there that can be a presence for people. I'm not saying that everybody turns into a ghost. I don't think that's a thing. But, you know, I mean, have you ever had dreams of somebody that you love that you hadn't thought about in a while? Or,
Yeah.
And even if you had not thought about them that day, like, I think there are these times where they like to remind you of who you are and who they are.
What you're stating is actually super sweet, and unfortunately, I have to like make fun of it, because that's kind of the whole basis of this thing. But how does somebody get determined to become a ghost or not? Like, is there like a ghost Hagrid? That's like, you're a ghost, Harry.
I mean,
like
they have
that,
to fill out a form. They have to get tested. You know, they have to go through the whole rigmarole. I mean, it's getting harder since Trump's been president, but It's a thing that happens.
Trump is putting the kibosh on ghosting.
It really is. He wants to build a wall against them,
A ghost wall.
and he wants them to pay for it.
The ghosts are coming into our country and they're bringing drugs and they're all like murderers and drug addicts.
I mean, they really are.
Yeah.
Suggestion. No, I'm saying like, I mean, you don't know. There could be ghosts all around that just prefer not to have contact with people. But there are
Bunch
some.
of antisocial ghosts.
Well, yeah, that's what I would be.
Yeah.
Or I would be the person that would really fuck with people. I know a couple of people that I would go to and fuck with.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's one of those things where you can choose to have contact. You can choose to have no contact. I don't know. Like I said, I'm agnostic. I don't know what there is in the afterlife. I would like to believe that there's something. Maybe these people choose to stay. Maybe these people choose to switch back and forth. I don't know. I don't know what's out there. Do you know what's out there? Did you ever die? Did you go to the light? Go into the light, Carol Ann.
Yes. No, that didn't happen. But I'm starting to think about like if ghosts were to exist and ghosts were of their own mind. They were a person's spirit that becomes incorporeal and separate from its body and then wanders around doing stuff. My friends are such dicks that if like any one of them unfortunately goes before their time, they would fuck with me so hard. And so I'm thinking of like communities of people that are just those types that like pick on each other constantly, give each other shit. Like frat houses would be lousy with like really shitty ghosts that would just like wake up pledge and just like fuck with anybody in that pledge house.
So how can you not say, like, even if they're drunk and they spill something on themselves, how can you not say that that's the ghost and not them just being drunk?
So frat guys aren't actually clumsy when they're drunk. It's their frat bros, ghost alumni, that are going and just knocking beers out of their hands and shit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
I want to believe that. I desperately do now. But it's always these like really sad places that end up being haunted, like abandoned buildings and
true.
asylums and stuff.
That's bullshit.
All these places
That's what gets hyped up to be haunted places.
But like, I mean, granted, nobody's going to haunt the DMV. Like, nobody. Because why? Like, that would be awful.
Actually, I think that would be a place I would really want to fuck with if I was a ghost. Actually, maybe there are ghosts there, and that's why it's so slow and so fucked up.
Oh, God.
You don't know.
I won't want to write an indie comedy now where, like, that's just the thing that's known, that DMVs are, like, weirdly haunted. And everybody that works there just knows this, but they're super just not even affected by it anymore. So the reason why it takes so long to do stuff is they have to go in the back and, like, straight up ghost bust like, to get your ID made. And so outside, they're just completely exhausted from all the ghost fighting.
I really hope they're having to deal with some slime and they have to like make it dance or something in order for it to do something for them.
Also, I think DMV ghost fighting sounds like a good title for this episode as well.
Yes.
That would be an actually good like carryover like spinoff from that Ghosted show that's on I think Fox. That like one of them ends up going to work at the DMV.
Oh, that's right. We started watching that and then we stopped.
Yes, we did, because a ghost made us stop. Of the movies and television shows, what is probably most closely aligned to what you consider to be ghosts?
Paranormal Activity.
Like evil demon ghosts that you bring out with a Ouija board that will fuck with you?
I think that is possible. Let me think about like a kind one. I think Paranormal Activity movies are definitely not that I agree with him, not that I agree that there are like evil ghosts everywhere, but I would say out of horror movies, which I love all horror movies, I love Halloween, I love Friday the 13th, I love all of the, Jason movies and Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, I love all of the horror movies, but those are so campy and
fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
And to me, I think believing in ghosts, that element of Paranormal Activity and
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist is my all-time favorite.
I love that movie.
Like, that's my favorite horror movie.
Yeah.
Is the original Poltergeist, not the one with Sam Rockwell. Again, I love Sam Rockwell, but awful.
I never watched that one.
It was awful.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Awful. Yeah, Poltergeist is my all-time favorite horror movie, but I do like it because it's still kind of campy.
Oh, for sure.
Whereas like Paranormal Activity and I'm trying to think of the other movie. But
The Conjuring.
The Conjuring, yes,
Yeah.
that's the one. Yeah. It brings that element of real into it. And again, like you as such a horror movie person, as you as this person that like just loves delving, like just diving into all of these subjects, and again with The Conjuring, and like how do you not believe the Warrens? Like how do you not believe what they're doing?
The same reason I don't believe that there's a weird dude with blades on his hands that haunts you in your dreams. Like, I enjoy paranormal movies. I enjoy the slasher films. I enjoy zombie movies. And as much as I want a zombie apocalypse to occur, especially now, they're all fiction in my mind. They're all maybe extreme exaggerations of real life things that have occurred, or complete fabrications, but they're a story being told with occasionally some moral tale to tell, like Jason Voorhees kills teenagers that fuck, so don't fuck before marriage, or Jason will
And
murder
so does
you.
every single other 80s slasher movie.
Yeah, well, that all
if you have sex, you're gonna die.
that all came from Mike
Except
Myers.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, they're like, no, go ahead, fuck.
And we're gonna kill this innocent bitch in the pool.
In the pool, poor Barb.
Aww.
Oh,
I didn't like Barb, so whatever.
oh, we're gonna get hate mail.
I liked her, but I didn't like her like everybody did.
Yeah,
It's like just let her go.
yeah.
She's gone.
But yeah, so Ghosts for me, they've never been something that I liked the movie because I really believe the possibility. I'm obsessed with The Exorcist. I love that fucking movie, but I'm an atheist. The idea of a demon possessing a human person doesn't make sense to me either. Like, I don't believe it to be. There's plenty of mental disorders that got misjudged as possession for, you know, the majority of human existence.
I think that's because you're defining a demon based on Christianity and basing it on something from a religion, where it doesn't necessarily have to be a demon from, like, I mean, it doesn't have to be named a demon. It's just something, and there's something there. As a teacher, I deal with
Possessed children.
kids that I want to have an exorcism with every day, but you can't. And yeah, I don't think that it necessarily has to be something based off of a religion of dealing with those types of situations. Again, with the Warrens, they've dealt with real stuff. Yes, everything is exaggerated in a movie, but they still have that room that they show you in the like that is a real place that they have, that they do feel like there are these spirits in them that they feel like they have taken away in order to make that person's life better.
You mentioned Paranormal Activity and a number of other ghost movies where
Ghost Dad.
Oh man, which by the way is way harder to watch nowadays
Yeah.
since the Bill Cosby stuff, but used to be a personal favorite.
Ooh.
Put the bitch on the phone.
Awkward.
With ghost movies, oftentimes they are able to manipulate matter. Like, it's not just that they appear and they go woo, but they can actually move stuff. And
In the movies?
in movies, like, they can move curtains or like pull blankets off of people, or, you know, actually affect matter in the physical world.
In the movie.
In the movie, do you but do you believe that's something that ghosts can do in life, that they can actually open and close doors and slam doors and move curtains? And
Yes.
so
Because I know of instances where that has happened.
where ghosts are able to actually manipulate things to fall over and close doors, or there's only been one instance in all of recorded history where they haven't discounted the possibility of a ghost murdering somebody, and that's the Bell Witch from, I think, Georgia. I think it's Georgia. And even that, there was a lot of like family abuse stuff happening. There's a lot of weirdness that could have possibly explained it away. It was just left to possibly it was a ghost. No other time has there ever been a ghost that was considered primarily responsible for somebody's murder. If ghosts themselves are able to manipulate matter, mankind has made it like their job to murder the shit out of each other. So as ghosts, especially vengeful spirits, which is a commonplace belief, how are not more people getting murdered the shit out of by evil ghosts?
Maybe it depends on who. Again, I don't know what's in the afterlife. You don't know what's in the afterlife. We each have our own beliefs. You're atheist. I'm agnostic. I would like to believe that there's something out there. So maybe it's the people that are better that come back.
Or maybe ghosts have just gotten really good at hiding bodies. Like all those missing people.
I can give them a list.
It'd be like Death Note, but with ghosts.
I'll just post it in the front of the house.
You go to like the creepy haunted house in the neighborhood and just post up a little note with like names. You'd be like, you guys, like, I won't say nothing. I would appreciate it. If you could just get rid of that like lousy coworker that I'm not a big fan of.
That upstairs neighbor that I don't like.
Yeah, that one. So you had mentioned earlier that you've had personal experiences when it comes to ghosts and spooks and specters. What exactly were those experiences? I'm just curious for just to give the listeners a little bit more background on why you believe what you do.
Why you believe I'm bullshit?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I have two different instances. One is very personal to me. As Hobbit knows, I have had people in my life that were murdered, and I worked at a toy store at the time and still work there periodically. And every now and then, and it's not just me that hears these things, and it's not just people that knew the woman who owned the toy store, who was one of the people that got killed. But there are times when we will hear toys go off. One distinct thing that I remember is one of my fellow employees and I had to go downstairs into the basement and stay there for a certain amount of time because there was a possibility of a tornado coming through.
Good.
And yeah. And so we locked the door. Nobody was in the store. We locked the door. We go down there and we're just hanging out and just talking. And then it's almost like we hear these things called plasma cars, which are like toys. They're like little cars that you drive, but you have to like turn the steering wheel back and forth in order to make them move.
Mm-hmm.
And we swore up and down that we could hear those move. Like, actually, Nick recognized it first, and he's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then we both heard it. And so he runs upstairs to make sure that nobody was in the store that we just didn't know about. And he runs back down. He's like, "No one's up there." And then we heard it again. And so, and also with that is there have been like sound puzzles that have gone off randomly when no one was in the store, and just different things like that, to where to me and to other employees that have been there, it's Catherine, just like the owner, just saying, "I'm here and you guys are doing a good job, I hope."
Or like the opposite, where she's just like, fucking seriously?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah. Knowing her, yes, you don't really know.
like, you didn't even get under that shelf. Like, I know that you could have swept a little bit better.
Yeah,
than
why
that.
aren't you guys cleaning like you should? But yes, that personally for me is one of those situations. And then also, I was at a cabin in Northwest Virginia
With your boyfriend
area.
Ash, and you were going to have a nice weekend together, and then he found this book, and
Yeah.
he started reading passages from it, and it got weird.
But no, I went into an abandoned cabin next to where I was staying, and I started touching things. And then when I came back, I felt like things were happening in my apartment that were not supposed to be happening, such as things being moved, just different noises that I hadn't heard before in a newly structured apartment. So it's not that it was, weird settling things. It
Mhm.
was more of just I brought something back.
So you are of the opinion that items or that people themselves can be haunted, not just necessarily places, but also like there might be spirits that follow people around.
Possibly. Or like, to me, it was like, oh my God, you picked up this book and you went through it, and the person that had that book is fucking pissed.
One thing we haven't even approached is the possibility of there being like ghost like animals or ghost like objects. I've heard so many stories of like haunted objects where there's something connected to an item.
Right.
There's a very popular podcast that we have preface with we have nothing to do with. We don't have any affiliation with, that even does a haunted doll watch, where they discuss haunted dolls that are sold on eBay. It's a common belief by a number of people that like an old pocket watch or
A doll such as the Raggedy Ann doll.
Raggedy Ann doll, yeah, very very possibly.
I mean, look at everything that the Warrens have in their little area.
Yeah, but my question there is that
So clearly we have touched on it.
with that, how? I guess is the question. How is it that some item has a spirit attached to it?
And again, I told you earlier that you asked about how with spirits, like where do they decide to go? Where do they want to be? Do they get to roam around? And I told you that I believe that they go to where they want to go. Like they want to be in a happy place. So maybe some spirits go into something that they loved.
Like that haunted flugelhorn at the pawn shop.
Sure.
That's an indie horror film that I'm writing about a haunted flugelhorn.
And you talk about like there's Hollywood Cemetery that has the haunted dog.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I don't think there's any sort of limitation. I don't think that we hear everything that's I mean, I'm sure there are hundreds and thousands of stories that we don't hear about of haunted items or objects that could possibly be haunted. I think for relevance of the whole subject, I think more than likely you're going to hear a story about a ghost, like a living, like a person that's there, hearing voices.
You don't hear any stories about somebody's like pet bunny that died and then came back to like just be cute in the afterlife and like all the carrots are gone, which to me kind of states, and this is my final like poking of the bear, is that if you believe in ghosts, and there is really almost no stories about like ghost animals running around, or if there are, they're in such a small degree compared to ghost human beings, that to believe in ghosts is to also believe that animals themselves don't have a soul, because that is the one thing that's necessary in order to become incorporeal and to become a ghost itself.
So no redheads can have a ghost.
No redhead ghosts. That is the name of the episode, is no redhead ghosts. Yeah, otherwise you would have like household pets. You'd have your faithful dog that you had for 12 years that like is just following you around being cute as a ghost dog, which is a lesser known sequel to Ghost Dad, is the golden retriver that that puts stuff in people's drinks. And wait, no, that's the first
That's
one.
Airbud 25.
Airbud 25. It's a crossover with Ghost Dad. Ghost Bud. No. No? No.
That was awful.
Yeah, that's fair. And we're going to unfortunately end on that terrible joke because we're at that time. Do you feel like you've learned anything, or maybe like honed in on your beliefs a little bit more from this conversation, or was this just all a waste of time for all of us involved?
Oh, this is definitely a waste of time.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, that's what podcasts are for.
I mean, I'm gonna believe what I believe, and you can poke me and joke me all you want to, and I think that's part of our relationship.
Yep.
Is that
pretty much
we're both stubborn enough to believe what we believe, and
not be affected by the other person not.
And once that ghost follows me into this house and you realize that, you're going to be fucked.
You're going to walk into the bedroom and I'm going to be like Frank from Hellraiser with just like no skin on me and being like, you need to feed me blood. And you're like, I didn't sign up for this.
No, I just can't wait until you are sleeping one night and you wake up and suddenly I'm just standing over your bed like Katie in Paranormal Activity.
That's just going to mean that you drank too many bourbon and gingers that night.
Maybe.
But
maybe on a sober night.
So what I want to hear from our listeners is your ghost stories, whether it be your personal proof on why ghosts exist, or if you maybe believed in ghosts, but there was something that turned you away from that belief. Maybe something that you thought was ghostly and then turned out to be something explainable. Tell us your stories. Post on our social media. We have a page on Facebook, Quite Contrary. That link is available on GUIPodcast.com. Or just hit up the Geeks Under the Influence Facebook page or Twitter with your stories about ghosts. You can also hit up the Geeks Under the Influence hotline. It's a voicemail, so you can leave messages, and we might even play yours on the air. It's 804-505-4484. That's 804-505-4GUI. So tell us your ghost stories. Tell us why you believe or don't believe in ghosts.
Prove me right.
Or prove her wrong.
Prove me right.
And yeah, let's continue the conversation on social media. And also, tell us who you think won this debate.
I won.
Whether it's the ginger that's never going to become a ghost.
Because I have no soul.
Because you have no soul. Or
Actually, I just steal souls. So maybe oh my God, what if I could spawn into multiple ghosts because I steal souls?
that is also maybe when you die, all the souls you stole become free. And so there's just this
No, I don't like
birthing,
that.
xenomorph style birth of ghosts out of your chest as you die.
It's like the Melisandre birth in Game of Thrones where it's just "Bleh," and they all come out. Ooh, no, I don't like that.
And you're like, bye, Steve.
No, I'm like, bitch, I stole that soul. That's my soul now.
That's my soul. So tell us how you think a ginger deals with the supernatural post death, and we'll be more than happy to carry on this conversation after this. So for now, thank you so much to Jonathan Colton for the use of All This Time off of his album Solid State as our intro song. You can find the link on GUIPodcast.com. Buy the record; it's a great record, and also follow all of our podcasts on the GUI network at GUIPodcast.com. And we'll find you guys here next week, with another episode of Quite Contrary. But again, that's just my opinion.
Bullshit.
GUIPodcast.com.
We've got another Geeks Under the Influence Network event coming your way in February. February 23rd at Strange Ways Brewing Company. We've got Beautiful Disasters, our B-movie night. It's a monthly surprise movie night celebrating schlock, presented by our hosts of the Beautiful Disasters podcast that'll be coming soon to you on the Geeks Under the Influence Network. For the month of February, our theme is rock musical. The Schlock-O-Meter checklist for this movie states: Space Alien New Wavers versus High School Rockabillys, A Tentacle Monster, Crazed Killers Loose from the Asylum, and One of the Jacksons. You have to come out for this movie. We got brews, we've got a mac and cheese truck, Return of the Mac, and it's free from 7:30 to 10 p.m. on February 23rd at Strange Ways Brewing Company, 2277 Dabney Road in Richmond, Virginia. Come out, bring your friends, and we'll see you there.